He leads us all the way, playing proper football, the Sheff United way. Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale.
Ale, ale, ale. Welcome to the Sheff United Way YouTube channel. How we all doing out there? I don't think I've been this buzzing since the last time I did a match reaction when we won in the very last minute, but this is certainly a different kind of feel. We didn't win in the last minute. We won in the something else minute, but we beat Sheffield Wednesday. It is a Steel City derby. Wednesday, nowhere near us in the table. It's not shocking that the Blades have won today, but the Blades still needed to win because we are the better club, we are the better team, and and we have won today. It's one of those where you walk out the ground and you think, yes, that should have happened. And we got there in the end. We certainly, I'm messing with a lot of this. We certainly should have been better in this game. I thought Wednesday seemed to play as probably good as what they could have given us today. And we managed to find that little bit of magic to unlock that door, to score that goal that got us the 3 points. It certainly wasn't one for the ages, but after 3-0 nils in a row, it's nice to finally get a goal in a Steel City derby. And that goal came from the boy Tyrese Campbell. And he's written himself into folklore, really, because I was looking through the games between Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday, and there's not a huge amount of players in there that are just like random players that you don't really remember, like Lupoli, like that might have been his only goal for Sheffield United. Tyrese Campbell has written himself into that sort of history, into the history books of Sheffield football, you've got to say, by scoring that goal today, winning us the game. And if we go on to get promotion, obviously we're going to look at this game and thinking, do you know what? Could have been a stumbling block. And at the end of the day, any game in a Sheffield derby is one that you shouldn't take for granted. We've done that in the past. I remember under Robson, I think we lost 1-0 away and we had much the better team. And I believe that was the one where Kilgallen got sent off. But still with 10 men, I would have backed us to have beaten Wednesday. Didn't quite get it. But yeah, Sheffield, it might have been a different game. I might be talking absolute nonsense. I'm just talking off the dome. But like I'm saying, you can't take these games for granted. And it almost felt like Wilder was extremely nervous about this game, and it just meant everything to him. See him at full time, it meant everything to him just to win that game of football. Now, I've said this in the preview. I don't work in Sheffield anymore. I live in Sheffield. I don't live in Sheffield. I don't work in Sheffield. So it doesn't feel like going to work and getting hammered or being able to get the jibes in. Most people who I work with are Leeds fans. So I've come home absolutely buzzing, but there's no one to rub it in with. There's not. I've had a couple of Wednesday fans message me and stuff, and we've had a bit of banter between us. James from Wednesday Till I Die podcast said, "Oh, when you've got loads of players on 40 grand, obviously you're going to win the game." But yeah, it's all banter. It's all banter. We've all been there. We've all said the same things when we've lost. I remember leaving Hillsborough once, and a Wednesday fan saying after we'd won, "Yeah, but we've got a bigger ground." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's literally the worst banter, worst argument you could ever have." But first and foremost, let's just talk about that incredible not 2-minute silence, that incredible Sheffield respect that we showed to Remembrance Sunday. So I think there was one Wednesday fan shout, "Come on Wednesday," which was the wrong thing to shout at that time. It wasn't like a concourse thing where nobody knows what's going on. It was a guy shouting just before they were about to do the bugle, "Come on Wednesday." It's not needed. It's not necessary. But everybody else in the ground showed Remembrance Sunday the respect that it deserves. And yeah, even though the game possibly shouldn't have been played on Remembrance Sunday, it was a Sunday to remember. for many reasons, and obviously from a Sheffield United point of view, we've won the game. We've won the game 1-0, and yeah, it doesn't matter how you win these derbies. Sometimes you just need to win them, and that's what we've done today. Like I said earlier in the video, it was a moment of brilliance. Not brilliance, it was a moment of quality that got us that goal, and that's all we needed. So cheers to that, boys and girls. For those listening on podcast, I've just taken a sip of my beer. I always forget about the podcast sometimes, so shout out to the podcast listeners. So let's start from the beginning. Absolutely nothing happened in the first half. It was mostly a poor game. The first half was really poor, in my opinion. I think Wednesday were the better team in the first half, being completely honest. I think we had more of the ball. We did slightly more with it, but not even in the final third. Wednesday, we just sat there taking it and just saying, come on, come and attack us, score a goal against us, because we will come at you and give you that sort of break. Well, we're going to try and get you on the breakaway. And that's what they tried to do. And actually, they offered a little bit more than that in the first half as well, because they came at us a little bit, getting some half decent balls into the box that were kind of bobbling around and players swiping at balls, trying to score. I know that Josh Windass had one that I went down at half time to have a beer, and they were showing chances in the first half, and one of them was a cross that Josh Windass missed a shot to that was sort of quite far away from goal. And I'm like, if that's all you've got to offer in that first half, that has clearly been a really poor half from both teams. Barry Bannon smashed Harrison Burrows in the first half, if I remember rightly. And Nell got smashed as well. I'm not sure how bad that tackle was. It looked high. It looked very late. And the referee didn't even give a booking for it. And it was a really poor decision, that from the referee. I think he's probably had somebody in his ear before this game saying there's going to be a lot of needle, a lot of big challenges coming in. You need to keep your composure. Don't give too many bookings too early, because there'll be like half the teams on bookings. And I feel like that's why he did that. But it still doesn't mean that it wasn't a booking. It could have been a red. I don't know. I've not seen it back. It could have been a red, but yeah, it was a really poor challenge from the Wednesday player. Not sure which one it was, because I don't know any of the Wednesday players other than Barry Bannon. And Shea Charles today, I've got told all these things about Shea Charles. It was okay. It was nothing special, but at the end of the day, defensive midfielders shouldn't really be special, should they? Should just be effective. And I think it was effective because it stopped us from playing our usual game. We didn't really attack with much intent for most of the game. So yeah, I think it was the second half that really got us going. And hats off to Wilder for making that bold move of bringing City Peck on for Arblaster. Obviously, that was a forced change because Arblaster went down a couple of times in that first half. He didn't look great, especially kind of into the second half, where he was walking down the tunnel, having obviously been brought off at half time. He walked down the tunnel really limping. So hopefully Arblaster's okay. It just never seems to work out for our Sheffield-born lads, does it? Billy Sharp never scored a goal against Wednesday in his Blades career. He must have scored a goal against Wednesday at some point, but not for Sheffield United. And Ollie Arblaster will have been bang up for this game. It'll have been absolutely buzzing. And you could see from how he played that he was absolutely buzzing for this game. And then, unfortunately, coming off at half time, having a couple of players give him some kicks, he came off and City Peck came on. And I can't remember who said it to me, but somebody said City Peck is just a red card waiting to happen, especially in a Sheffield derby. And City Peck, I've got to say, was absolutely fantastic when he came on. Really got stuck in, really took the game to them, because I think it was very passive in the first half. We were passing side to side, trying to go through the middle. And I don't know whether it was a mixture of Wednesday being quite good defensively and in the midfield, defending sort of from the front, or whether our passes were just off. I think Burrows really early on had 3 really poor passes where I don't know. I think one of them was kind of like a diagonal ball that went wrong. Suter had a diagonal ball that went wrong. And it was just, the passing was just off. massively, massively off for the whole of the first half for me. We didn't create anything going forward. We had a couple of corners, if I'm right in saying that. Nothing came of any of what we did in the first half. But like I say, really hats off to Wilder for bringing on City Peck for our blaster. He could have gone a little bit more conservative and put Harmer in there and tried to shore it up in the midfield. But he didn't. He trusted the youth of City Peck. City Peck is not a Sheffield boy. He is a London boy. But he just felt like he got it straight away. He got that this is a Sheffield derby and we're going to get stuck into these lads. And it felt like the Wednesday players got that memo, but it certainly didn't feel like the Blades players got that memo. Especially in the first half. So it was nice to see City Peck come in there and really, really give them what for. And also, I just feel like Sarike is so effective going forward when he gets that ball and just runs at him. I just want to, I would watch 90 minutes of Sarike just running at defenders because I'm sure he thinks he knows where he's going, but I'm not sure he actually knows where he's going. But he's got so much pace, so much power. He's so direct that it's so difficult to defend against him. And we should be using him a lot more. And I think next season, I think Gilchrist will go back to Chelsea after a really good season at Bramall Lane. And then I think Femi Sarike will take up the mantle and be our right back moving forward. I'm not always 100% sure about him defensively, but he's certainly got that pace to get back in. I believe in that second half, he made the last-ditch tackle to stop Musampa, Gus, I don't know. I don't know some of these players' names that Wednesday got, but one of their players absolutely tore us a new one going through three players. And I believe it was Femi Sariki getting back and making that fantastic block. It was either him or City Peck. And the fact that Wilder, like I said, I've said it over and over again, those two at half time were just brilliant, brilliant substitutions. And no one really gives Wilder credit for his substitutions when they are on the money. It's always moaning when it's not on the money. So I've got to give him a lot of respect after bringing those two on at half time. I'm not sure whether Gilchrist was injured. It might have been a forced change. I don't think he was. But I think Wilder saw that we just needed a little bit more directness, if you like, and someone just to run at their team. And I think it was also probably because Raksake got doubled up on and tripled up on sometimes. So I think he needed another outlet down that right-hand side, somebody to make him not all focus on Raksake. Because Raksake, if he's left to do what he wants to do, Raksake will really, really hurt you. But today he was marked within an inch of his life. And obviously, Sheffield Wednesday saw that he was one of our bright sparks and knew that they needed to stop him. And stop him, they did. They did. But yeah, obviously, Sariki coming on and really, really making a difference was fantastic to see. So let's talk about the goal. So a ball comes into the box from Burrows. Really poor front post, gets headed away, comes out to Gus Harmer. And we all know Gus Harmer. We know what he does. He's got a license to do whatever the hell he wants because Gus Harmer is our best player. And he looks like he's shaping to shoot. And you've just got to let Gus shoot sometimes. And he did it a few times in this game, shooting from distance, ends up in the crowd. Fine. I want to have players for us that take those chances. And Gus Harmer's certainly a player that could a volley could end up in the top corner, or it comes out to him and he curls it into the far corner. That is what Gus Harmer does, and he shapes to shoot. And Barry Bannon gets done by this, and he turns onto his left foot, slides a ball into Callum O'Hare, who was ineffectual for most of the game, in my opinion. But he finds that little flick through to Tyrese Campbell, who I think he puts this underneath. What's his name? I've forgotten the goalkeeper's name. Yes, I've forgotten it. I've fully forgotten it. Beadle, James Beadle. There we go. That was hard. I did know that name. I really did know that name. He's got a 5.7 on Flash Score. So clearly, the fact that the only shot on target went in the back of the net went massively against him. But I think Iorfa and Bernard were really, really good at centre-back. You can see that I've got the names up in front of me now, can't you? Ingleson was an absolute donkey. I don't know how Wednesday fans think he's any good. Windass didn't see him. Yeah, I think he had 2 shots and they both went miles wide. I actually think Max Lowe played okay and Marvin Johnson played okay today, in all honesty. But yeah, obviously the Blades took the lead 1-0. And then after that, we sat back a little bit and it was a bit disappointing because I think initially when we'd scored, we went again and we went again. And then when it didn't come in the next 5 to 10 minutes, we kind of sat back and let them come on to us. And then it's the whole taking the ball into the corner and all that rubbish. I hate that because whenever we go and take the ball into the corner, we always lose it instantly. I don't know why we do it. Like some teams, they can keep it there for 30 seconds, a minute at times, keep getting corners and free kicks and throw-ins and stuff. We go into the corner, lose it instantly. It's just so pointless. Yeah, it was a poor game. It was a very poor game. I think I'm just going to talk about some stats for a second from the game, and then after that we're going to move on to comments because looking at the expected goals from the match was even. We had 0.59, they had 0.57, so really, really close. Ball possession, the Blades 60%, Wednesday 40%. I think we'd have had a lot more of the ball if it wasn't for us scoring and then sitting back. They had 10 attempts. We had 8 attempts on goal, so they've obviously just shaded that. We had 1 shot on target, they had 0. That's embarrassing for a Sheffield derby. We should be scoring goals and I mean, both teams really. Like we've had so many 0-0s. We need to have some goals in these sorts of games. And yeah, 1 shot on target in the full game is not a great promotion for Sheffield football, is it? The home of football. I think we did overall dominate Sheffield Wednesday. I think we had most of the ball. We were slightly the better side, but I don't know. I think Wednesday came for a draw, and maybe we can catch them on the break. But it wasn't obviously there were a load of tackles flying in from the Wednesday side. They were quite dirty at points, but that's what you get from the team that are lower down in the league. Like they haven't got us. Our wage bill will be double theirs probably. And that's because we've been up and down in the Premier League. We've got much better players. They came to frustrate us, try and not concede and try and nick one on the counter and be really strong in tackles. And they did that for the most part. So fair play to Wednesday. Fair play to Wednesday. They came to do a job. They didn't quite do it. They lost 1-0. You could see their fans. Obviously, they got kept in after the game, but their fans clearly appreciated the fact that they'd played as well as they possibly could. It's hard to say that without sounding like I'm taking the mick, doesn't it? Really, but yeah, I expected us to win this game, and we've won the game. Like I weren't expecting to see us win 3-4-5-0, but I expected to see us win the game 2-0, and it would either be 1-0 or 2-0, and we've done that today. So that's all that matters. So let's go from the start. Okay, Blade, the art of winning ugly. Never a classic, but it's 3 points and first place, or joint first place, you've got to say. Wednesday, more direct than us, but no quality. We've quality, but not direct enough. That's a good point, That's a good observation. One up front slows us down too much. I think that Tyrese Campbell, when he was allowed into the game by players getting around him and feeding him the ball, he played well. And he looked bang up for it. I remember at one point, one of the Wednesday players was chauffeuring the ball out of play and he put pressure on him. It looked like it was going out, no problem. But he put pressure on him and he got that corner for us. I think he flicked the ball onto the Wednesday player and he turned to the cop and just kind of punched the air and we're like, come on. And that's what you want to see. That is what you want to see from a striker that's got no affiliation with Sheffield and is just joined kind of this season. You want to see that passion. You really do. And it was nice to see. It was a good win. We had to be patient, but it was good. We managed to find a way. It's good to find a way. And that's what promoted teams do. So if we're going to get promoted, we need to keep finding a way like this, and it's good to see. Take the points all day long, but not the performance. Referee was an absolute garbage, clueless. He really was. I'm not going to talk too much about the referee, but he was shocking. I think he was shocking for both teams, in all honesty. I think he was kind of all Wednesday in the first half, and then he seemed to kind of switch to all United, and then towards the end gave us nothing. It's a really weird game for a referee to be part of. What a dirty team Wednesday are. We prevailed and won despite that. Magic Blades. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, I just don't. I think you've got to go there as a fan of a team that are going away to someone that are better than them on paper. You've got to mix it up, haven't you? And it's fair enough. 3 yellow cards to 1 show how who the dirty dogs of Sheffield are. Campbell got a good big toe. 3 goals, not a clean shot yet. Campbell, O'Hare, and Sarike all off it today. Okay. Sarike? Sake. Raksake. Okay, sorry, I misread that. Wednesday were okay, but we still couldn't break them down. Our defense is better than our attack. Oh, totally. You can see that from goals for and goals against. Another clean sheet. If the opposition don't score, they can't win, except for Wednesday, who claim a win from a draw. Well done, Dave. Classic joke. Great derby, deserved to win. I'm saying we deserve to win. I'm not sure it was a great derby, but thank you for that. Anyway, spotlight actor Wayne. My voice has gone up them blades. Being the crowd was electric. Yeah, same. My voice, you could probably tell, is going a little bit. It was almost gone in the first half or the first 10 minutes, and I've kind of regained it a little bit. Must be the beer. Little Bannon looked a mad little ferret. I think Bannon played okay today, in all honesty. He always seems to be the man that steps up for Wednesday, and fair play to him, other than getting, turning his back to Gus Harmer and then us scoring the goal. He has, I was saying that on Twitter, I think that was an ugly win, in my opinion. I went mental when we scored. Mental. Love it. Thank you very much, Hal. I wouldn't have expected anything else, mate. Excellent win today, but please do the idiots have to spoil it on Ecky Road? I thought them days were long gone. I don't know what you're saying, Walter, but I can imagine. So hopefully there's not too much trouble in Sheffield tonight. It is silly. I saw someone say on Twitter, them scum or them scrubbers or whatever, and it's like, we all live in the same city. Like, why would you call people from your own city those names? I think it's really silly. I think it was a Wednesday fan that said that. We'll say it's a Wednesday fan that said that. Glad it's over and we won. After the first 10 to 15 minutes, they were the better team. After we scored, we saw it out. Not as comfortable as I'd have liked, but 10 clean sheets from the first 15 is good going. Dublin Blade, you are not wrong. I remortgaged and put the money on Sousa getting booked today. How did I lose that? You're smiling. That's an emoji of a laughing, crying face. I don't think if you've actually done that, you would be doing that. But no. Buzzing though. It's these wins that get you the title. We're going for the title now, are we? And against the Pigs, even sweeter. Do you know what? We could have technically sang "We Are Top of the League" because could we have? Probably not, because we are second. But it would have been nice to have sang after going 1-0 up against Wednesday. We are top of the league, but wasn't to be. I thought they were going to score a few times, but glad it was us who scored. But to be honest, that's how you feel in a Sheffield derby, don't you? If that was Norwich, if that was a game against sort of Norwich or Swansea or QPR or someone like that, I wouldn't have been worried once today. But the fact that it's Wednesday or Leeds or someone like that, you're always on the edge of your seat, especially Wednesday. What I will say, and I've said this on a couple of Wednesday podcasts this week, I've been asked to be a guest on, which was nice. I do think that it's great to have this Sheffield derby back, and Leeds can say that they're got a massive rivalry with Man United and United and Wednesday and whoever else. They don't have the rivalry that we have, and we should be proud that we've got that rivalry. And United are going to beat Wednesday. Wednesday going to beat United at times. It's just nice to see us have that derby back. It's been almost 6 years. So, yeah, fantastic. Getting up the flipping blades. Got scared first half. Don't know how that wasn't a pen just before half time. I don't know what you mean, in all honesty, but like I've been at the game, so some things you don't really see or take in. And Peck did brilliantly, and that block was brilliant from Peck also. Oh, it was Peck. It wasn't Sarike. I'm not sure about that. Let me know. O'Hare was excellent. Okay. Everyone sees things differently sometimes. I thought it was okay, but I think it was ineffectual for the most part. I see that Scott's already got the scoreline on his profile picture on YouTube, which is great to see, Scott. Great results and bragging rights. Also, potential new owners in the stand coming to a great game to advertise as fans too, right? Even though the game wasn't the best, it was a fantastic atmosphere. It really was. Thought Sariki did all right today, putting a few good tackles. Overall, a pretty good performance from him. Harmer sending Barry Bannon to the in the build up to Campbell's goal is laughs. I thought Sariki was better than Raksaki. I think Raksaki wasn't the best today. We didn't have to play at our best to beat that Tim Pot team. I'm assuming that is. What a dirty, unprofessional lot. What a dirty, unprofessional lot. Starting with Bannon. Just listen to Sausage Roll. According to him, only his team were playing football. What? That is crazy. Crazy. Ref was awful. 60% possession in the first half and didn't really create anything, but a better second half showing. Great goal. And now I have all day to be happy. Can't beat a 4:30 a.m. kickoff and beating the Pigs to right, Portland, Oregon Blade. A very deluded young manager who can't get any more out of a poor outfit. Well done, Blades. Wow. I've not heard what he said just yet. Wednesday's biggest cheer was when the attendance was announced. I didn't even take that in. I didn't even hear him announce it, to be honest. I didn't get that, James. Never in doubt that win. Composed performance throughout. Vinny and Harmer, class above. Weren't Wednesday tipped for the ones stuck out for this season? They were. Sausage roll. God's sake. Harmer, surprise Harmer with man of the match, to be fair. I don't think any of them really deserve man of the match. Suter was probably the better of a mediocre bunch. The lane is the place to be, getting that magic feeling about this season, team bonding and ugly wins. Yep, too right, Paul. Sariki was at Boston 2 seasons ago. He has done really well. I saw him in a championship game. He came in for, I think Bogle and Baldock were both injured. And Sariki came in and he looked very, very ordinary. He looks very out of his depth. And now it looks like he's grown into his body. He looks very strong, very quick. And I think if you're very strong and very quick, that's a good start to being a professional footballer, because other things will come like confidence and decision making. But if you've got that in your locker already, the other things will come eventually, hopefully. And it's certainly looking like it's coming at the moment. Can't believe that it was a good 3 point. Can't believe that it was a good 3 points. Bannon tackle on Ole was definitely a red. All right. Okay. What's the song called that opens the show? It's a song that's not an actual song. It's Martin. I think you were the one that tweeted me. Send me a DM, mate. Send me a DM, and I'll send you the song. Not a classic by any means, but I thought we edged it. And another clean sheet. Out of all the derbies I've been to, that was the quietest I've ever heard Wednesday fans. I think it's because they just didn't expect anything from the game, in all honesty. They tried to shush us at one point, and it was just a bit of a nothing. When are you getting the new potential owners on the pod? I wouldn't believe it till they're on here. Okay, fair enough. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that, but hopefully we will. You never know. You never know. But it's certainly not on the cards as we're speaking right now. What a beautiful win. Thank you, Viral Vibes 69. You love to see it. Harry Suter had them all in his pocket. To be fair, he had a pretty good game today. Big shout out to Chad and Noah doing the watch along. Had up and down stream and had to deal with some horrid Wednesday comments, but well done to both of them. Love Chad, love Noah. And yeah, fair enough. I've not seen any of that because obviously I've been at the game, but I will watch it back and see what all that is about. Thank you very much for watching. It's been quite a short stream for me. I think that's just really because the team that expected to won. Like, we've been worse than Wednesday in the past and lost games, and it just kind of feels like that's what was expected. And this is what's expected today. We're expected to win. I would like to have seen us win by at least 2 goals. I'd like to have seen us see us score a few goals against Wednesday, but it wasn't to be. That's fine. We've took 3 points. We've taken the bragging rights, and that's all that really matters. So yeah, leave us a comment. Let me know what you think down below. If you're listening on listening on podcast or you're listening on YouTube, let us know what you thought of this game. Obviously, I'm buzzing. Obviously, the Blades fans are going to walk away from that game absolutely delighted that we get the bragging rights and the 3 points and be joint top of the league. So have a great rest of your Sunday if you're watching this on the day of the game, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Up the Blades.
Ollie,